Hi everyone, welcome back to MJS Coaching Football. Sorry, it's been quite a while since my last YouTube video, but that thing called football season, and including preseason and showcases and camps all summer. I just now in December got the opportunity to get back at this again. So thank you for your patience, and here we go. In today's presentation, sorry about that. I want to go over the simplification of sim pressure fronts, right? Sim pressures are becoming more and more prevalent at all levels of football. Obviously, they've been a part of the NFL and the FBS and FCS levels of football. It's now really starting to permeate Division III college football as well as high school. So, what I want to go over with you is how we simplify our sim pressure fronts. So, I'm not going to go over any specific sim pressures in this video. We're going to have a whole slew of videos to do that. But what I do want to do in our five front system, which means there are three down linemen, okay? So, if you're not a subscriber, push that button and you'll learn all about our five front system. I'm going to show you the two sim pressure fronts that we utilize and are very effective in our five front package, okay, using three down linemen. All right. And that is, and this is left to right as you learn, Pacific and Atlantic is one, Cali and Mass is two. So before I go any further through the agenda here on the left, make sure you utilize terms that you don't use anywhere else in your system. So you avoid confusion right out of the gate. All right. So we don't utilize the terms Pacific or Atlantic, Cali, or Mass in anything else. Okay. So that's the first thing. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the agenda. And the only thing I'm going to do here relative to the diagrams is show you how we adjust, what if you get this motion, how we use our base adjustment system. Well, what if they come out with a tight end, how those alignment adjustments are built in to the sim front pressure simplification. Okay? Easier teaching means easier learning. So if you're more organized, the coaches are, having thought out every detail, the better you'll be, the more effective you'll be teaching your system, and therefore your players have a better chance to learn it. And at the end of the day, execute it. Okay? So the first item here on the agenda is sim pressure. How do we define sim pressure? It's either showing or simulating pressure by how you line up. Okay? So as you see here, we've got 7 guys on or near the line of scrimmage, right? That's showing pressure. There's pressure coming somewhere or not, right? That's the beauty of it. So in each of the 4 diagrams, we have 7 defenders on the line of scrimmage or near it, okay, which by itself tells the offense, whoops, something's coming. Okay, and I'll go through what we're hoping to affect as I continue through this video. So that's how we define sim pressure. Number 2, far as personnel, and you got to do this on your own system. In this video, this is our 5 front package, which means we have 3 defensive linemen. That's a given. We have at least 3, maybe 4 linebackers, right? Situationally. We have at least 4, maybe 5 defensive backs, right? So we have 5 DBs, we got 3 linebackers. If we got 4 linebackers, we got 4 DBs. Okay? So yes, you can utilize something like this. And I wouldn't say every single situation in football, but you can utilize it in quite a bit. Okay? Number 3 here, pressure packages plural. In our simplified sim pressure front system, we can rush 3 and drop 8, right? A complete ruse. Nobody came. We have 4-man, 5-man, 6-man, even 7-man pressures that we can bring at you. And just because a guy lines up here doesn't mean he's going to go there. He may come way over, right? That's the beauty of the whole thing. Okay, just go back to how we define it. Show or simulate pressure by alignment. Okay? So we have multiple pressure packages. And as we go through this whole series, right, this will all be part of Simulated Pressures playlist. You'll see how we take our existing pressure system and implement it in our sim package. Okay, I highly suggest utilize the pressures you already have. Don't create new ones. That'll be self-defeating. So, as far as I'm concerned, number 4, it starts with your front simplification. If you can't get you guys lined up, you got no chance, right? So, letter A, use the base adjustments you already have in your system. Don't create a new system. That's more learning. Okay, use the system you have in place. And I'll show you how we do that. Go left and right whenever possible. Our sim pressure fronts are left and right. Okay, now I'm talking about the 7 people on or near the line of scrimmage. They're left and right. Boom, done. Okay, so before you go, well, what about secondary? Secondary follows the same alignment rules they do from day 1 of spring, day 1 of preseason. Boom, done. Okay, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We got no chance at executing. And then letter C, have built-in alignment and adjustments versus offensive personnel groupings. Excuse me. So you can utilize this versus 10, versus 11, versus 12. Sorry. Okay? All the personnel groupings. Make it simple for you guys to adjust. And for me, if they're left and right, you've already taken a big step. All right? So what I have done on purpose is I've drawn up the same formation the same way versus the defense in that it's 3-by-1 to our left on all 4. So you can see how you can line up left and right against the same formation easily. Okay? So for us, these are all a Liz. So again, non-subscribers, push that button. Doesn't cost anything, right? So it's a Liz. Now, the left and right fractor. I'm going to underline the defensive linemen. Our stud, nose, and end. Okay? They go to the call, meaning Pacific, right? That's the West Coast or the left coast. They simply bump. Again, here's a freebie, non-subscribers. Our D-line's always left and right. So they literally just slide left. All 3 of them. To the point where the right defensive ends head up on the center. Nose is 3-tech on the left guard. And our end is wide rush. He's 2 yards outside the tackle. Okay? So therefore, if they go left, our 2 inside linebackers, Mike and Backer, go right with the rover. And the way we simplified it, Mike and Rover always travel together. And the dime, always usually, or depending on if it's 10, 11, or 12, but most of the time, the dime is going to the lizard rip. So therefore, the dime goes to the call. We just have the dime travel with the defensive line. And when you teach it, guys, this is for our 2 simulated fronts. Atlantic Pacific to us is one front. Cali Mass Cali, is another front. Dime, you go to the call, meaning Pacific go left, Atlantic go right. See what I mean? Easier teachings, easier learning. And make sure you specify this is specific to our sim pressure package. Okay? Now in Atlantic, those same three defensive linemen, Atlantic is the right coast, so they all slide to the right. End, nose, stud. And the Mike and the backer go left with the rover. Dime trap, see? Our Cali and Mass front. Again, Cali's the left coast. So here they are again. Notice, for our defensive line, it's the exact same alignment. So our defensive line essentially learns one thing. I've been a huge believer. I played D-line at UMass Amherst. You make it as simple as possible to line those guys up because everything happens faster for defensive linemen than any other position on the field. They're involved in everything, unlike every other position on the field. So make the easiest thing they have to do is line up. Okay, that's just my opinion, but that comes from experience as well. So then Mass, right? It's on the right side of the country. Again, Mass and Atlantic is the same for our defensive line. Cali and Pacific is the same for our defensive line. Okay? Pacific and Atlantic is the same. I'll circle for the four linebackers. A little bit different in Mass and Cali. The Mike stacks over the center. So the Mike can play with their alignments. Depends on the call. I want them to play. It's all part of simulating. So they might be at 4 and then walk up. He might have his hand on the butt of who's ever lined up on the center, stud, or end. Okay? We give him freedom and leeway to do that. Okay, so now Cali, the three defensive linemen are right. The backer, rover, and dime all line up opposite. So we go BRD, backer, rover, dime. Backer, rover, dime. And the dime, like the end or the stud in Atlantic, even in Cali, he's 2 yards outside, 2 yards outside. Our dime is just outside of striking distance. So he's probably a yard, yard and a half. I don't want him quite as wide. Okay? Now, last thing, the secondary. Field corner free. They go to the lizard rip. Middle of the field, these are their base rules, non-subscribers. Ball in the hash, big field, right? Field corner. Get it? Boundary and whip go away from the lizard rip, or boundary, balls on the hash into the boundary. Boom, done. That's what they do from day one. Okay? So that's what I meant by the secondary follows their same alignments that they learned from day one in the spring and preseason. Okay? So now, last thing that I'll go over here with you is, well, what if this guy, right? I'm not going to go through every single motion. But if he were to motion, so in other words, they came out in 2x2, he just moves down to 1x8, which is what he would do. These guys in the box, they don't adjust to the motion. Okay? What happens? I'll just do it down here. If he were to motion out, Bruin as we call it, backs out, right? Back motion. Bruin, empty. Same thing, 1x8. We're not messing with the integrity of our sim pressure box alignment. That stays put. Okay? And then the last thing, right? Personnel, built-in alignment adjustment for personnel groupings. Well, what if this were a tight end, right? So then he'd be off the ball. The defensive end lines up in the 9 technique on the tight end. That's why he's 2 yards. Oh! Okay? If the tight end were over here, the rover stays the same alignment, which is he's what we call a wide hip. His toe is, he can reach out and touch the hip of in that case, the backer, but his toe is on the heels of the backer. So again, he's on or near that line of scrimmage, but he's a little bit wider. If there's a tight end here, he lines up the same and he'll have the outside leverage on the tight end. See what I mean? It's built in. I don't want your guys to have to think, oh, now I got a tight end, so now I got to do it. Just line up. But make sure you teach your guys when there's a tight end here, look at how you've got the leverage on him. You're good. Okay? So again, I apologize for taking so long to put this together, but right, college football is a busy time. I now hope to get in at least 1 or 2 videos a week. With the holiday coming up, I'll be able to do a few more than that. But I appreciate your patronage and patience, and have a great day.